Hello and welcome to our new moon class. I'm Lizzie Lassiter. Two websites to give you before we get started. This is where you can find me and everything I'm doing at lizzie.yoga. And in case you've received this class, but you're not subscribed to our new moon mail, I send out monthly free full-length classes for you to download on the new moon, which is a great moment to reconnect and recommit to your yoga practice. The website for that is lassiter.yoga, www.lasater.yoga. Today I'm offering a double class, or two classes in one. The first half of the sequence is designed to energize and uplift your spirit, your mind, body. The second half is designed to unwind or downshift your energetic body, shift into parasympathetic quietude. Let's take a moment, close your eyes, and investigate. This is called interoception, turning towards the real-time signals that are coming from inside of your body, asking yourself what it is that you need today. Not what you should do or what you're supposed to do. If you are longing for some more energy and uplift, start the class from the beginning with me. If you are looking to unwind, then jump ahead, just skip ahead and start the practice with the first restorative pose. I'm going to offer one blanket back bend, so you'll see me lying on the ground over a blanket. Skip ahead now and start there. Or, of course, it's a well-rounded sequence if you want to work A to Z with me. Let's move to the mat. Let's start standing. And if you've got them, have two blocks nearby. We'll start in Tadasana. Spread your feet to hip distance, close your eyes, and shift your weight back towards your heels, letting the front of your pelvis descend, establishing the normal lumbar curve. And find your breath. Closing the mouth, we'll breathe the rest of the practice through the nose. Next inhalation, bring the arms up. I'm going to turn to the side and exhaling, palms together in front of the heart. Once again, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Not so interested in the shapes and the perfection of the alignment, but I'm mostly concerned in this practice with the quality of my breath. And the breath is creating the movement. This is what I call slow flow. The breath is in the foreground. Last time, inhale. And exhaling, maintaining the relationship between the head and the pelvis, not arching and diving forward, keeping the normal curves. Exhale and fold forward. Let your fingertips come down to the floor. Drop the head. And breathe here in Uttanasana. Let's start to walk back towards plank. We'll land here, plankety plank plank. Aiming to stay about 30 seconds. My tailbone is tucked here. Front of my pelvis is lifting up. Strong, straight arms. 3 more breaths. And the next exhalation brings you down towards the floor as slowly as possible. Lower, 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 hover. Of course, bring your knees to the ground. Modify at all times, whatever you need for your body. Obviously, this is a digital class, I can't see you, unfortunately. So be gentle with yourself. Forehead down, turn the tops of the feet down, and inhale. Lift up into baby cobra, exhale. Release. Inhale. Lifting up any amount, exhale. Bring the shoulder blades first down your back. Lift the chest and inhale. Come back to hands and knees. Tabletop, exhale, round, drop the head. A few rounds of cat-cow here. Super nourishing movement for the spinal column, the vertebral column. Moving through this range of motion. The pelvis initiates the movement. And exhale, turn the toes. I think we're ready for downward facing. Adho Mukha. Dog pose. Bring the hands forward. Make sure you're ambitious enough and wide enough in your stance. Move the shoulder blades up towards your head. Turn the fingertips slightly in and drop the head. And look forward. Slowly walk your feet towards the front of your mat. Inhale, lift just slightly. Exhale, bow, and inhale. Come all the way up to standing and release. I'm turning to the side. Turn your toes out. Inhale, exhale, bend the knees. Hands can come onto the hips. This is like a plie squat. That was one. Doing a few somatic strength movements. That was two. Moving down to three. We're aiming for 8. 4. And lift up. Exhale. I love to weave these movements in. This is 6 to my practice. I'm 40 now, so this is 6. Focusing on more strength training. This is 7. And lift up, last one. We're coming down to 8 and pause. Isometric contraction here. And now we're going to transfer to a lunge on the right side. So my back knee is straight. This is a great place to grab blocks if you have them on either side of your right front foot. Exhaling, slowly lower that back knee. Inhale, come to your fingertips. And exhale, straighten the front knee, bow the head. Inhale, come forward. And exhale. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, pause for a couple breaths here. My front knee is moving towards straight. I like to lift my toes here. And I bow the head. Come back towards the lunge. Straighten the back knee and inhale up to a high lunge. Yogi's choice. You could keep the back heel up or you can close the back heel towards Vira 1. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. That's 2. We're already on 2. Arms are lifted. This is a back bend. 3. Let your tailbone go. No need to tuck here. 4. Exhale, we lift. 4 more. Inhale. Exhaling one more. And exhale. Release. Palms towards center, release the arms. Toes are pointing forward. Inhale, hands on the hips. Lift the heart, lift the energy, lift the gaze, and exhale, fold forward. Prasarita Paduttanasana. Walk the fingertips forward a little bit here, just on the fingertips, and drop the head. And now walk the fingertips back. Inhale. Come up. Take your blocks with you over to the second side. Left knee bends towards a high lunge. And now slowly bend that back knee. You can feel some stretch at the back quadricep. Hello. Inhale on the fingertips. And exhale. I'm loving this sequence recently. Just this dynamic pulsing, inhaling forward, lunge, and then kind of like a Parsvottanasana variation here. Inhale. Really simple shapes, but I'm doing it almost every morning in my practice. Feels really nourishing. Last one here. Inhale. And exhale. I think we paused for a couple breaths on the other side here. Head down. And come back forward. Lift the back knee. Big inhalation as we come up. So either keep the back knee, heel up, or you might lower it. And inhale. So it's as if the arms are lifting you up here. There's a lot of lift energy. Remember, this is the energized portion of the practice. Exhale. This is already number 2. Inhale. And keep going on your own. Ooh, I'm breathing wrong, not the right way I want. I want to exhale when I straighten. Inhale. Exhale. Let's say 4 more. It's hard to count. 1. And it's hard to count and breathe at the same time. Awesome. And release. Turn the toes, release the hands back towards the center. Toes pointing forward, hands on the hips. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Prasarita Paduttanasana. If it's available, you might want to let your hands come down onto your outer ankles, or maybe they're just in front of you, palms down. Three breaths here. Okay. So walking the hands forward, bring one block if you have it. That's going to be nice. You can also do this on the fingertips on the floor. It's nice if you put your palm onto a block in the center, and now we're going to twist to the left. Let your pelvis twist with you. Don't overdo it. No need to strain or push here. This is a little hint in the sequence for the unwinding that we're going to do in the restorative portion. And exhale, come to the second side. Fingertips down. Inhale, you can kind of come up in stages, halfway up, and then all the way up. So I'm already feeling a little bit of heat in the body, a little bit of energetic shift from before the practice. I was feeling a little more sluggish. Bring the arms up, and they're soft here. So It's not a kind of yoga warrior arm, but it's a little bit rounder, a little bit softer. Inhale. Exhale, bring the right fingertips to the left, towards the left toes, and inhale. And come back to center, come back to Tadasana, where we started. Lift the weight back onto the heels, close the eyes, and take a few breaths here. Okay. Let's move to the top of the mat and sweep the arms up just as we began. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale. Step back to plank. And pause here. We're going to do a side plank. So drop your heels to the right and come onto the right hand, the outside, or you can bring the knee down if you need a little bit of support to modify. And now we just breathe and grit our teeth. Try for 4 more breaths if you can. Last breath. Woo! And come down to your hands and knees. Draw your left hand under and through. Take a twist. Short reprieve between the sides. And back up to hands and knees, second side. Straighten the legs, come on to the left hand and shift to left side plank. Can you take 8 breaths here? Four more. Oof. And come back to center and draw the right hands underneath now. Twist. And last exhalation. Come back up to hands and knees. Inhale. Exhale. Cat cow. Couple rounds here to cleanse the palate. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Exhaling, turn the toes, lift the belly, drop the head, and float up and descend back. And let's walk the hands back towards the feet now. Turn the toes out and come down towards a squat. So if this is available to you, be here. If you need a little bit of support under your bum, take a block. I don't want any knee pain, obviously. So you might need something there, or you can be the palms pressing together and the elbows pressing out. Now we're going to stand up, bring the arms up with you. Exhale and come all the way back down to that deep squat. And inhale. Strong. Let's do 3 more. Come up and come down. And come up. Okay. Last one, lift up. And exhaling, come down to the squat. Come down onto your knees and come all the way onto your belly. Palms together above your head. Calling in gratitude for this practice, for this quiet hour to move my body, uplift my spirit, for this breath. For all the teachers who have come before, for their guidance, and for the privilege of being given this practice. Namaste. Whatever else you want to add, silently or whispered here, as a moment of gratitude. Bring the palms alongside of you. Now bend the right knee. And forehead can come down and lift the right leg up and release left foot. Lift. So I'm not lifting very far. It's a couple inches, 5 to 10 centimeters. It's not about the degree, the amplitude of this motion. It's a posterior chain, the hamstrings, the bum, all that good stuff back there that gets atrophied from all the sitting that we're doing. Twice more on each side. And release. Pause for a moment. Now bend both knees. Take a hold and lift up. You might need a strap to catch the feet. Let's hold it for 5 breaths. Bow pose. Dhanurasana. Oof. And release. See if you can bring your palms down and lift straight up to a high cobra. Feels good after that back bend. And exhale. Let's roll over onto our backs and take a block. Support your pelvis here. And release the hand. Close the eyes. Press into your feet. Lift your pelvis, remove the block. Roll slowly down. Hands alongside your pelvis. Inhale. Lift the pelvis, lift the arms, exhale. And I like here to do a little tail on the movement. So your tailbone tucks down, arches down. Now my tailbone curls and lifts as I come up. The arms come with me. Then exhale. The breath is the foreground. The movement is the side effect of the breath. A few more rounds like this. Last time, inhale. Pause for a full round of breath. And drop the knees to the right. And then the knees come to the left. Windshield wiper movements. Once again to the right and to the left. Just keep going and roll onto your left side. Press up. Let's do a twist. So put your soles of your feet on the mat and then drop your knees to the right and bring your left pelvis with you into the twist. I like to put my back fingertips on a block just because I feel longer when I do, but you can of course just use the floor. Inhale. Exhale, twisting to the right. Twisting first from the pelvis, then the belly, the rib cage. And at the very end, the neck follows. And release. Second side, soles of the feet on the floor, my knees drop to the left, and I turn around. Inhale. Exhale, beginning with the pelvis. My right pelvis comes with me into the twist. The belly twist. The lumbar spine can't really twist, but we think about it twisting. We invite it to twist. The rib cage is twisting a lot. And at the very end, the neck follows. And unwind. So bring the soles of your feet together for Baddha Konasana. My soles of the feet are together. My knees are open. I like to have a block here for the forehead. You might just be here holding the outer ankles. If it's available to you, maybe you're going to fold forward and bring your forehead onto the block. And inhale. Find your way up. Last item on the agenda, we could say, is I'd love to do a double pigeon. I know this is not available to everyone. Stacking ankle, knee, knee, ankle. So you might be, the alternative would be a figure 4. So you would do this and lie on the back, take the hands through, stretch the rotators. If this is available to you, maybe you're just sitting vertically, or maybe you can come forward. Maybe you can put your forehead on a chair or a couch, or maybe, let's see what it looks like today. Maybe you can come down to a block or two. Inhale. My feet are flexed. Exhaling, I bow forward and take support. Inhale. And second side, switch. Which leg is on top? The rotators don't get that much attention. Inhale. Exhale, but are really important in forward bends and for hip mobility. We're holding and gripping a lot there. Inhale, come up. Take a comfortable seated position. I'm going to sit in Virasana on a block like this. My knees are open. You could be cross-legged. You could be sitting in a chair. We're just going to sit for a couple minutes here as we transition between the first and the second half of this class. So what we've just done, that's very similar to my home practice in the mornings. For energy, a few minutes, movement, a little bit of those somatic strength moves thrown in. And then I would typically start with 10 minutes of seated meditation. Today we'll do 3 to 5 minutes here as a transition. And now we're going to move into a restorative practice, a more restorative practice. I have 4 poses planned for us, of course, including Shavasana at the end. So this second half is not what I typically do in the morning because my kids wake up and they to be taken to kindergarten and the day starts. So I do the first half, that kind of 20-30 minute practice for energy. And then what we're going to transition into now is something that fits in my life really well in the afternoon when I'm ready to unwind, when I can find an hour. Okay, so we're sitting here, close the eyes, inviting a state of pratyahara to visit you. That means we're moving away from the senses, from the stimulus of the external world, turning our attention consciously inward. The breath is our best companion here because it's so interesting. It's always moving. It's always telling us about the state of affairs, the state of our psyche. So releasing here into your seated position, inviting a sense of openness, not trying to impose anything onto this moment, make any experience or sensation happen, but opening yourself to what is happening and the interoceptive reality of how you feel now after that practice. Blink your eyes open. One blanket back bend. The very simple, gentle, restorative back bend. You need an eye cover and a single blanket or a pillow from your couch. I'm going to use one of my third eye masks, which I design, and they're available at my shop at lizzie.yoga if you'd like to have one of these. What's so great is that they attach to your head, so when you're upside down, you can still cover your eyes. Sit in front of your blanket and come down so that your pelvis is on the floor and the tip of your shoulder blades is touching the top edge of the blanket, or this could be a small pillow. Feet are wide, the knees are together. The eyes are covered, and the arms come as wide as you like. Belly is soft. Soften the jaw. Soften your grip in general. And then ask yourself if there's anywhere internally now where you're gripping or tense, and let that go. You don't need to hold on to anything here. You are supported and you're held and you're safe. Inhale the breath and slowly roll yourself to one side. Press yourself up to sitting. Such an elegantly simple pose that makes a huge difference in your nervous system. Let's take a supported bridge pose. I'm going to show with a single round bolster because I want to keep it simple today. But if you don't have a bolster, you could stack up some blankets. The idea is to open the rib cage. And if you're new to this pose, you may have to experiment with the amplitude or the height of your support. Like in the last pose, we're going to take the shape and then we will have a few minutes of silence to breathe and dive deeper. Comfort is really important. It is a stretch, but it shouldn't feel like you're at the very edge of your ability. Pull back, do 80%, 70%, 60% of your capacity. It's not about stretching in restorative yoga, especially if you're coming from the yin side of things. It's about opening. So sometimes here in this pose that we're about to do, for example, it is advantageous to do less. Single bolster. I'm going to sit on top of my bolster. Third eye mask at the ready. And then I'm going to come back and find that same spot again, the lower tip of my shoulder blades. And that is where the pose happens. That's the activation point. Cover the eyes, feet are wide, knees are together, pelvis is tilted down. Shoulders are really light on the floor. Throat, C7, if you know that point in the body, is lifted. It's almost as if you're hanging or diving off of the bolster. Inhale the breath. And unwind yourself from the pose by sliding in the direction of your head, and then lift your pelvis ever so slightly and slide the bolster out. Roll down slowly. A couple breaths here to transition. Roll to the side. And come up to sitting. For the next pose, I recommend spreading out a blanket on top of your mat. And you're going to need a round bolster if you've got one, and a yoga strap. This is a dynamic supported rolling twist that I've been doing recently in my practice. It starts lying down. It will feel familiar to many of you. We're going to lift the leg and roll to the side, and then we're going to use the bolster to support the leg that's twisting, and we're going to roll and rock gently. That's why the round bolster is nice. And something about the blanket underneath helps the bolster actually roll, as opposed to if I've tried it on the hardwood floor and my bolster slides. So come lying down. A good start. Lift your left leg up. Hook your foot. Have your bolster waiting for you on the right side. And then you're going to pause here for a moment. This feels good. Let's just take a couple breaths here. Moving your top left thigh away from your heart towards your bottom foot, creating space, or the illusion of space, the idea of space, the image of space in your left hip joint. Now bring the strap into your left hand, and you're going to bring the left foot onto the bolster. But what I don't want is what I'm doing right now, that you just pinch and fold the left leg across the body. Instead, watch this. I'm going to lift up and over onto the bolster. Now the strap comes into my right hand, and my left arm reaches up and over, thumb down towards the floor. So here, this is the basic kind of position. And we're going to just explore rolling a little bit, quite intense on this top lateral support system, kind of IT band, rotators, which we touched on earlier in the practice. Go slowly, move at half speed. It's not about how many times you roll or how far you get. I like to kind of draw the strap towards my body. And once again, using the breath here. Your movements might be small, or they might be a little bit larger. An internal sensory exploration. One more time. And release. Unwind onto your back. And pause before the second side. Bolster comes over. Lift your left leg, sorry, your right leg now. The left leg is straight on the floor. Hook the sole of your foot. Moving this femur away from your chest. And now lifting up. So there's actual space between my bum and the mat. Lift up and over onto the bolster. Take the strap in the left hand and extend this right hand up and over diagonally, thumb down. And then I'm just going to kind of roll here, finding what feels good. There's a lot of sensations for me on this top leg, the side, the IT band from the knee all the way up to the pelvis, the side of the bum, the hamstrings, and then of course the side body here. Just breathing into the sensation. And release. Come onto your back, bend the knees, and breathe now equally into both sides of your lung. Feeling the rib cage expand, not just front to back, but side to side. Excellent. Roll to the side. Press yourself up. All right, my unwound yogis. It's time for Shavasana. Offering a very simple variation of supported restorative Shavasana today. We're going to use that round bolster to support the knees, the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. I would suggest a pillow or a blanket folded for your head and something warm to cover yourself up. Go ahead and keep this blanket on top of your yoga mat to create a cozy nest for your practice. All right, soles of the feet together. Make sure the knees are supported and open. If you don't have a bolster, then roll up some pillows or blankets symmetrically on either side to support your outer thighs. Cover yourself up with a blanket. Double check that everything's on airplane mode and silent. We're going to lie down into the pose, and I have a timer going for us. There's going to be an expanse of silence. I'm not going to be talking. You're not going to be talking. You're not going to be creating or consuming or achieving or pleasing or serving anybody. You're just going to lie here and play dead. Shavasana means corpse pose. Feel your breath. Give your nervous system time to, like a ship that has been blown over in the storm, the stress of your life is blowing your nervous system, putting a force on your nervous system. Let your nervous system, like that ship, right itself. Your body knows how to move into parasympathetic dominance. We're creating the conditions, still quiet, dark, and warm here. Lie down. Do not try to change anything or achieve any state. Let Shavasana find you. Let go of control. Let go of any unnecessary tension in the body. Inhale your breath. Exhaling. Slowly shift yourself onto your side. And up to sitting. Do not be disappointed if you lay there watching your spinning mind spin. That's what happened to me today. The point of Shavasana is not to have a blissful experience every time. It's to identify more and more with presence, with that space beneath thought, and to move into the present moment via sensations from the body and sensations from the breath. Inhaling, open the palms away from the body. With an exhalation, bring them together in front of your heart. Namaste. May we live like the lotus at home in the muddy water. Thank you so much for your practice.